Welcome to another edition of Green is Good. This is the Green Festival edition in beautiful downtown Washington, D.C. We're so excited to have with us Colette Ellis. She's the founder of Instep Consulting. Welcome to Green is Good, Colette.
It's wonderful to be here.
Colette, my fellow New Yorker.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your journey before starting Instep Consulting. How did you get excited about sustainability?
I got excited about sustainability. Actually, it started with getting excited about wellness. I'm actually also a certified stress management and wellness coach as part of my business. And so back in 2006, I was actually dealing with some health issues, digestion issues, and it was going through the program that helped me realize that there's a connection between anxiety, being a new business owner, and what's going on in my body. And it seems like a no-brainer when you think about it now.
Right.
But then I didn't know. And so that's what's made me want to help other people to do better.
Talk about the launching of Instep Consulting. When did you launch it, and what was its pure mission when you started it?
Sure. We launched in 2004.
Okay.
And the mission was to, or still is, to help people to really learn about their strengths and abilities and be able to use those in the marketplace. So we do that with team building and leadership development with individuals, and then we also go into organizations and help them with workshops and employee development.
So Instep Consulting, for our listeners and our viewers out there, they can find Colette and Instep Consulting at instepconsulting.com, instepconsulting.com. You're 11 years into this now.
Yes.
How did you, with the growth of mindfulness and sustainability and your evolution as an entrepreneur, what do you know today that you've integrated and learned along the way that you've integrated into your consulting practice, and how have you watched it and helped it grow?
That's fantastic. And so what I just shared with you is I walk the talk. So really being a newbie business owner, realizing that it takes, energy and passion, and also needing to be mindful of my health, right? Because if I'm not healthy, my business doesn't thrive.
That's right.
And so those are probably the one of the hardest lessons to learn. And I actually, at the time I was launching my business, unfortunately saw some others around me who weren't taking that lesson to heart. And so I sort of started to really think about, okay, if I really want to grow this business, I need to be looking at my own health and wellness so that I can help others to be able to do the same.
We're at the Green Festival here in DC. Tell me what your role here is at the Green Festival as a thought leader.
Yes, I'm actually speaking tomorrow, Sunday, and my talk is called Slow Down to Speed Up, Sustainable Living in a 2.0 World, right? Because it's, again, about being mindful, like you said, and not getting sucked in by all the technology, and also the connection between wellness and sustainability, that we all have a stake in protecting not only our health and well-being, but also protecting our planet. So looking at that connection sort of from the individual to the collective to the environmental impact.
Talk a little bit about the rise of thought leaders like you that are helping us hack our health, hack our mindfulness, hack just everything that they do, but to do things deeper, better. Arianna Huffington, Rich Roll, Tim Ferriss, David Asprey, Deepak Chopra. It's an unbelievable ride that you're on the cutting edge of. 04, you were ahead. Now the world is sort of caught up to you, and you get to be one of these great thought leaders. How has your practice grown with the growth and interest in mindfulness, in sleeping better and deeper, eating better and cleaner, and just living a better life and inspiring others?
I think it's made it easier to have conversations, particularly at the corporate level. So looking at employee wellness programs, finding that more organizations are seeing that as a priority, not just as a nice to have. So when we go to health and wellness fairs within organizations, you find both the employees are really excited to learn about mindfulness and meditation and stress management, and also the HR managers and the team leaders are interested in bringing those programs into their businesses.
Interesting. So Instep, do you focus on New York-based businesses, or your practice is national?
We can be national, particularly with So the good part of the 2.0 is that we can use various technologies, Skype and other ways to connect with, I've done meditations, I've done all sorts of tapping. I'm also working towards certification in EFT tapping.
Cool.
So I can do that over phone or Skype. So it really does enable the business to grow, not just not here in DC, but anywhere in the world.
Anywhere. Are your clients, talk about your client mix, male versus female, corporate versus private.
As a woman business owner, I do tend to attract more women, but there are definitely men who are taking more interest in their health, which I think is fantastic. And I think we do more B2B work, so more business to business.
Really? And you're in a city that's known to be very progressive, New York, and also probably in the hottest borough in that city, Brooklyn. Which is just fascinating.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
Shout out. So talk about your own life and how you walk the walk, talk the talk, and serve as your best ambassador and evangelist of what you do.
Absolutely.
Give a day in the life in terms of your eating, your exercise, and your just lifestyle.
Sure, absolutely. Happy to do so. So wake up in the morning, I do the tapping that I mentioned, talking about EFT. I also meditate in the morning every day. And then I'm a newbie runner, so I've done a couple of 5K races. So I really do aim to walk the talk, so that, and I talk about that in terms of transparency with clients. And I'm also a new composter, been composting now for 6 months and helping to, hopefully seeing that New York City Organics program grow in the next.
It's a great program.
It's a great program, and I really hope that they continue to do it.
Talk about sleep a little bit. Sleep's become a big deal. Arianna Huffington helped put it on the map when she talked about her own journey and collapsing at her desk and breaking her cheekbone and going through a very painful experience.
Absolutely.
For a woman who is already massively successful.
Right.
But it just goes to show you, we all push ourselves and our limits, and we all want more or want to accomplish more and make the world a better place, even if we're on the right track.
Right.
Talk a little bit about sleep and how you try to get enough rest. What does that mean to you? And what do you coach your clients to do with regards to appropriate rest?
Right. I mean, and that fits right into the slow down to speed up, right?
Yeah.
So we do think that by multitasking and doing more that we actually are, but in some ways we're not doing more, because if you're sleep deprived, you actually aren't, you may do more things, but you're probably not doing them to the highest quality that you'd like to do them.
Right.
So it's really figuring out what are your own personal sleep patterns, and figuring out, what your sleep cycles are, because it's not the same for everyone, and trying to get yourself on that rhythm of going to bed around the same time every night, and really starting to get your body used to, if you're trying to change your pattern, they say it takes 21 days to form a new habit. So it's not like, you start today and tomorrow, oh my God, it's automatically new and different, right? So you have to sort of build yourself up to making those changes. Right.
Talk a little bit about green. And for our listeners and viewers out there that just joined us, we've got Colette Ellis. She's the founder of Instep Consulting. You can find Colette or hire her off of her website, instepconsulting.com. We're here at the Green Festival in Washington, D.C. This is the Green Festival edition of Green is Good. Colette, we're talking green. Tomorrow you're talking about slowing down to speed up. Talk about some of the trends in terms of sustainability that excite you the most, that excite your practice the most, that you can continue to grow your practice on.
Well, I am actually excited, and tomorrow I'm going to be talking about sort of the progression of, individual decisions that we make, the decision between recycling and composting, and making that personal decision, how that impacts us collectively, and then what's the impact on the environment, because it really does start with each individual choice. And I know one of the things I talked about in our prep for the show was, the pet peeve. You go to a space like this, they're fantastic in terms of the bins and everything that's set up.
Sure.
When I'm at events and I see people hesitating because they're not sure, where should I put the bottle, where should I put the plate? Part of that is like, okay, how do we make it easier for people to do green and do it well? Let's not make it difficult. Let's make it easy for them.
That's so interesting. I have a friend who runs the labeling part of recycling, Recycle Across America. And her thesis, which I believe is absolutely true, is that you got to recycle right to make recycling even legitimate and credible.
Exactly.
If you start mixing up the pizza box with contamination, if you start mixing the diapers with the aluminum cans with the pizza box, everything becomes worthless.
Right.
So you're absolutely right. So that's a big trend. Composting you mentioned in New York, and New York also has, I think, textile recycling now and electronic recycling.
Yes.
So they're, again, on the cutting edge of three of the things that are closest and most near and dear to us. Are the electronics we use, the textiles, the clothes we wear, the food we eat. How do we recycle them and get the city involved and get the people of the city involved? So I think...
And like I said, I think people do want, I'm a newbie composter, as I like to say. So and once I found out how easy it was to do it, it's a no-brainer.
We talked about sleeping a little bit. How many hours a night would you say you sleep?
In between 6 and 8.
6 and 8, which is, sort of the norm of good sleeping hygiene.
Right. And that's the transparency, right? I can't sit here and say I sleep 10 hours. When do I get any work done, right? So it's looking at sort of what's the balance and what works for you.
How about food? How important is eating well to you in terms of clean? And where are you in the spectrum?
Absolutely. So, by choice, I don't eat meat, but that's just my choice. So always looking at sort of whole foods and vegetables and plants and that kind of a thing. And looking at buying locally when I can in New York. And events like this are fantastic. I always feel like my system feels so much better after these events between all of the different probiotics and all the great things that you can drink.
So
it's like
true
for a
here.
day after the Green Festival, my body is so happy.
Exactly. That is really great. Talk about your business practice. As you say, more HR directors are open to wellness programs. How has that now grown since 2004 to 2015? And how are you out there? How do you go and reach the HR directors of the world?
So one of the ways that I talked about, we have a couple of partners that we work through that organize corporate health fairs for employees. So that's one way. So we'll have a table and we'll be sharing information with employees and then connecting with the HR directors directly to talk about different types of seminars and programs that we can do. Attending similar events like this, but within the HR and training and development industry to meet again with those influencers that want to bring in wellness programs into their organizations.
And what can our listeners and viewers find on your website? If they go to Instep Consulting, what resources do you offer there?
So there's a section actually talking about the Coping with Work and Family Stress program, and there's actually a stress skills ladder. And so talking about how you can continue to move up the ladder and use more proactive ways to manage stress, like some of the things we've been talking about, managing your response and meditation and positive affirmations, all the way up to problem solving, which is really trying to look at how do you remove some of the stressors or triggers in your life.
Any final thoughts today before we say goodbye here at the Green Festival?
This is fantastic, and I've had such a great time talking with you. A fellow New Yorker, doing green, doing good.
Thank you. And for our listeners and viewers out there that want to do green, that want to do good, and that want to make yourself or your business better, contact Colette Ellis at Instep Consulting. Go to instepconsulting.com. You can find her there. Colette Ellis, thank you for making the world a better place. You are truly living proof that green is good.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.